The Payday gang are known for making connections. Whether it's super hitmen or weapon dealers, the clowns are great at shaking hands and forming lasting bonds. One of which was back in Miami, with one of the people who helped us take down the Commissar. They're all bite and no talk. And his name is Jacket. Released as a special edition bonus for Hotline Miami 2, Wrong Number, on March 10th, 2015, but later receiving a standalone release February 20th, 2026, the Jacket Character Pack is the 19th DLC pack, 3rd paid character pack, and 2nd paid crossover DLC for Payday 2, and introduces, or reintroduces us, to the gang's masked sociopath, Jacket. Alongside him, we get his signature weapon, his signature melee weapon, the sociopath perk deck, and 9 new masks, with 3 being Jackets: painted, unpainted, and mega. I'll be ranking this pack out of 5 categories, out of 5, for a max of 25. Will this midnight animal lead the pack, or does the 80s want their serial killer back? Let's find out and see if the Jacket Character Pack is still worth it. Nicknamed Jacket, real name is theorised to be Richard, is the main protagonist of the 2012 top-down shooter Hotline Miami, and is the major character in the sequel Hotline Miami 2 Wrong Number. He's an ex-Special Forces member, having fought during the fictional Russo-American War in the early to mid-80s, leaving the military after a suicide mission on a Soviet-occupied power plant in Hawaii during October of 1985, with the war ending after San Francisco was reduced to slag in April 3rd, 1986. After the 3-year anniversary of the war ending, Jacket is then silently recruited by the ultranationalist terrorist organisation 50 Blessings, where from April 3rd to July 23rd, Jacket waged a one-man war against the Russian mafia, eventually ending in his arrest and incarceration, his last canonical appearance being burning in a nuclear fire as he sits in a jail cell. However, none of that happened in the world of Payday. Payday 2's Jacket is not the same as Hotline Miami's Jacket. Whilst one was fighting in the Russo-American War during the early to mid-80s, one was a roadie for a band in 1983. Plus, as proven by the arcade cabinet in the safe house, Hotline Miami 1 is at least an in-universe video game. The real truth is most likely this: our Jacket is a copycat. A madman who played a video game and let it consume. So much so, he took down the Russian mafia single-handedly. And when you view him like that, he becomes a way more interesting character. In-game, Jacket's entirely silent, minus his dictaphone, replaying snippets of language tapes, nature documentaries, and whatever else he can get his hands on. However, they can get annoying if repeated ad nauseum.
This is GenSec Tech Support. If you have a problem with your radio, please contact us during normal business hours. Thank you.
His mask, Richard Returns, is a modernised version of the Richard mask from Hotline Miami, resembling the appearance in some of the promotional art. So much so, this is probably the most iconic version of the mask created. Jacket all around gets a 5. Despite not being the same as the laid-back slacker turned serial murderer, he's still a fan favourite. An 80s gun for an 80s man. Introducing Jacket's Piece, based on the Cobra M11-9. Sitting in the same category of SMGs as his big brother, the Mark X, Jacket's Piece sits comfortably as a fun spray and prayer capable of 100 stability and some decently high accuracy. Alongside the piece, you get the slotted barrel extension and the Weirdo suppressor, both equipable on the Jacket's Piece as well as the Mark X, turning it into the version that appeared in Payday the Heist. So there's your gun fact for today. Jacket's Piece gets a 5, but that's only because I love the Mac 11 and any Mac adjacent weapon. The Carpenter's Delight is a claw hammer, so you can imagine how good it is. Okay, concealment, high knockdown, but low damage. Also, to whoever spread the rumour that playing as Jacket and using this allows you to get Counter-Strike against cloakers, owes me an apology. It gets a 1. The sociopath overkill weapon from 3 is way better than this. A total of 9 masks released with this crossover. 3 are the Chicken Man himself, whilst the other 6 are based off the masks of the other playable characters. I'll give some info about each character, kind of like how I did in the Hotline pack review. Mega Richard returns. The newest mask added to Payday 2, it's a really good Mega Mask, and one of the few that new players can actually get. To those who don't know about Mega Masks, don't worry, you guys aren't ready for that, but your future selves one video from now are gonna love it. Alex the Swan. In Wrong Number, Alex and her brother Ash are the only playable duo, with Alex using a chainsaw whilst Ash uses guns. A missed opportunity for Ash's mask, but it's basically the same mask with a number 2 instead of a 1. Biker. The only other character playable in the first Hotline Miami, Biker is limited to 3 throwing knives and a cleaver, making him a rather challenging character to play as. He's encountered at the end of the 7th level, Neighbours, as a boss fight. However, Jacket does not kill him, as he appears during the events of Wrong Number. Corey the Zebra. In Wrong Number, Corey's unique ability is to perform a dodge roll. Besides this, she's basically a female version of Jacket. Jake the Cobra. Found in the corpse of its former owner during the 10th level, Hot and Heavy, Jake turns Jacket's thrown weapons lethal. It also appears in Wrong Number whilst playing as Jake himself, retaining the same effects as it does in Hotline 1. Richter the Rat. Found on an evidence table during the 13th level, Assault, it grants Jacket a silenced SMG on the start of the level. It also appears in Wrong Number whilst, yet again, playing as the person it's named after. It has 0 effects in Hotline 2 as it would trivialise all of Richter's levels. Tony's Revenge. In Wrong Number, like in Hotline, Tony's punches are instantly lethal. However, unlike Hotline 1, Tony can't pick up any other weapons. Tony has gone on record saying his mask belonged to Jacket. However, the truth is that it's the mask worn by an explosive covered 50 Blessings member found in the 4th level, Tension. And to those wondering why Mark the Bear wasn't included, it was actually added as a community mask back in October 2013, as Overkill were allowed to play Hotline Miami 2 a while before its release. These masks are perfect recreations of the ones in Hotline Miami. I am a little disappointed that there's not an achievement for completing a heist with the fans' masks, but what can you do? Plus, the future edition of the Mega Jacket mask was a nice touch that Sidetrack didn't have to do, but was greatly appreciated. The masks get a 5. Sociopath is a melee boosting, damage reduction, health and armor regen perk deck. It's basically a better version of Dragan's Infiltrator, which is funny considering both Infiltrator and Sociopath were once abysmal perk decks, not originally offering the melee damage boost that Overdog does now, and offering half the damage reduction. The first card, Overdog, formerly known as No Talk, increases damage reduction when surrounded by 3 or more enemies by 12%, and grants a 10 times melee damage multiplier with every consecutive hit. It's basically the same as Infiltrator's Overdog, minus the boost from advanced close combat. The third card, Tension, grants 30 armor per enemy killed with a cooldown of 1 second, and increases total armor by 10%. The fifth card, Clean Hit, causes kills with melee weapons to regenerate 10% HP with a cooldown of 1 second and a 8% damage reduction from enemies within 18 meters. The 7th card, Overdose, grants 30 armor per enemy killed within 18 meters with a cooldown of 1 second, and increases total armor by 10%. And finally, the 9th card, Showdown, grants all kills a 75% chance to spread panic amongst your enemies, with a cooldown of 1 second. All in all, Sociopath gives you 12% damage reduction when surrounded by 3 or more enemies, 8% damage reduction from enemies killed within 18 meters, 20% more armor, 30 armor regen on enemies killed at any range, 30 armor regen on enemies killed within 18 meters, 10% HP regen on melee kill, and 10 times melee damage with every consecutive hit within 1 second. Sociopath is an amazing armor gating and health regen deck. 60 armor regen from enemies killed within medium distances is not only amazing, it stacks with Bullseye Aced for 80 armor regen. Plus, you don't even need to use this as a melee deck. I personally prefer to use this with Bloodthirst and treat it like some sort of berserk button, turning entire groups of enemies into free first aid kits after 16 kills. Sociopath gets a 5. don't knock its potential until you try it. 5, 5, 1, 5, and 5, giving us a total of 21 points, and placing the Jacket character pack in A tier, the first A tier DLC in the list. The Jacket character pack is a great tribute to Hotline Miami, so much so that Payday 3 got its own version years later. The only downside was the melee weapon, but Payday 2 has more than enough to shake a stick at. Next time, it's all aboard the hype train with the Overkill pack, and our first Was It Worth It with the Completely Overkill pack. And I hope to see you there. Take care, and have a good one.